KoiStarter, a powerhouse launchpad that is running under the radar. We're going to talk about that today. And today we're also going to do an update on CrossSwap. I'm listening to you. I'm hearing your comments. So we're going to do an update on technicals, but what most people are missing. So if you like today's content, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. If you don't know me by now, my name is Jiggy. I'm the award-winning author of the Extraordinary Venture Capital Opportunity, How to Invest Like a Pro. Been featured in the best-selling book, High Probability Trading Strategies, back in 2008. Where I used to trade currencies, but now exclusive on crypto. So let's dive straight in. I know many of you have been loving my dancing. I've been showing you my dance videos. I used to be a b-boy back in the day, break dancing. So I want to see, can you guess what move am I about to do? And it is a trick question because I know what it looks like. I know what this looks like, but it's a specific type. So what move am I about to do? Can you guess? But you have to be specific, really specific. But I'm going to show you at the end of today's video. So KoiStarter. KoiStarter is a new launchpad run by the Creator Project and the Creator Token. What they decided is they've built a blockchain as a service, no code and low code. No code smart contracts and low code dApps. So you can build on their platform. But now they're incubating projects from scratch. They've got their launchpad. They've got a few other things, but KoiStarter, I am very impressed with. This is, in my opinion, from a user experience, from the level, the partnerships, the investors, Bluezilla level. Bluezilla level, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, when you scroll down, they're doing their first IDO, guaranteed allocation, closes today. Their first come, first round comes in today, and I think it lists today or tomorrow. DoragonLand, but they've got their next 3 projects. But the platform is just very clean, very robust. Everything's working, no glitches, and it's just beautiful, very well articulated, and they got strong partnerships. So I was very impressed that OxBull is also listing DoragonLand, and those guys know what they're doing. So that gives the creator team and KoiStarter just even that extra edge on credibility. But what I was also impressed with is they've got 3 more lined up. Jesus is one that they just literally announced the other day, and I had a quick look, and it's a powerhouse project. It's all about data, on-chain truth, and you go through and you look at their team, what they've done, what they're doing, what they're building, what chains they're working with, and you go, okay, these guys, this looks like a powerhouse project. If you click on their current MVP, right, minimum viable product, their data is on point. I'm not going to dive into Jesus in any great depth, but mainly, the staking feature on KoiStarter is clean. They give you a few different options. You can do single tokens and LP tokens to get your membership. What you want to notice though, or know, is, because I realize a lot of people are confused with this, is KoiStarter is run by the Creator Project. And to get Koi points, to get your Koi membership, you need Creator tokens. So it gives the CTR token a lot more utility, not just as a blockchain as a service, but more even as a launchpad and more things that are coming. So even if we just look over here where it says My Tier, you'll see how many tokens you need. It's just really clean, very clean. You can stake on multiple platforms, on the Creator platform, on the KoiStarter platform, and it just registers your tokens, how many points you have, and how many you need to get to the next level of your membership. If you want to go from the basic Matsu or Taki, which is a lottery-based system, or Umi or Kiku, which is a guaranteed allocation. So watch out for these guys. They're really undervalued right now. The price hasn't taken off. The season's not great right now in terms of Bitcoin's going for a bit of a correction, which applies a bit of pessimism to the market. So that's not peak IDO season. I think we're going to see that in maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks time. But now might be one of the best times to buy your membership because there's going to be a lot that are running under the radar. And these guys are looking very, very healthy. The next thing I want to jump into today, because I'm listening to your comments. I'm listening to your comments on YouTube, in my private Telegram, is CrossSwap. Now, people are kind of getting a bit concerned because, when price is coming down, going for a correction, it's not comfortable, especially if you bought near the top and it's going for a correction, especially if you're not risk-free, right? Because if you saw this when I first brought it to your attention, it was at 0.15, give or take. There's in like 15 cents. It would hit $1, and now it's roughly around 33 cents. But what I want to remind you is to do the opposite of what the masses are doing, right? John Templeton, one of the greatest investors of all time, he's no longer with us, but he's a great guy. He's run some really big funds in the past. He said this really simple thing, which was when everyone is buying, you should be selling. And when everyone is selling, you should be buying, right? Because we're looking for undervalued. when the hype train has not kicked off, when the marketing has not kicked off. So we want to be on the train before the rocket takes off. Just a quick reminder, because people are missing this, and sometimes it's annoying because people don't read the website, right? Or don't understand it, right? So there's a few different DEX protocols out there. We know that. There's a few different cross chains out there. We know that. I mentioned one the other day, Rubik, nice, simple cross chain. We got AnySwap, nice, simple cross chain. We had Binance Bridge, but that's closed, but that was a quite elegant solution. But that's not what CrossSwap is focused on, even though it does that. What it's really focused on is they've simply said, we are a powerhouse ecosystem, an incubating team, the Bluezilla ecosystem, and we've launched hundreds of projects with our launchpads, and we've noticed some problems. One of them is there's not a pre-launch staging area. There's so many mistakes. If you've been on some less sophisticated launchpads or earlier launchpads, or people that haven't figured out these problems, you'll notice that there's timing delays. It's supposed to launch at 3:30, but by the time the token gets released, it's 5:50 p.m. and there's 2 hour delay. People can't wait around. There's people press the button too soon, selling happens, buying, selling happens. There's all these mistakes that happen. So CrossSwap is really focused on two real things. One is new projects launching on DEXs, right? There's 5 key problems. We want to solve those. So new project, that's the niche. That's the real target market. And then investors that are really focused on getting in on those projects. And then it just does all the other things that everything else does, like PancakeSwap, Uniswap. So it's got a pre-launch staging area, meaning that it's easy for projects to get everything set up, make sure everything is preset so they don't need to worry about it. Token claim distribution. This is one of the biggest problems. Like if you've done any IDOs, claiming tokens, getting your tokens distributed, knowing what's happening, it's a pain in the you-know-what. For the projects themselves and for the investors, this just is going to make it easier, simpler, more intuitive. Automatic liquidity lock-in. This is for safety, right? For people that are investing, we want to know that the circulating supply of the token is locked. So there's not going to be massive price dumping going on or token dumping going on or selling. So this is going to make it much more intuitive to see, make it easier for us to understand what is the liquidity lock-in, what is the score over here, what's the project doing. So it's going to be more intuitive and easier, and it's going to make sure it's done. So safety of the projects and the participants of that project. Anti-liquidity, so it's basically bot prevention. They've done tested this bot methodology. When the Bluezilla ecosystem are not running the launch, the TGE, the token generation event, you'll notice that there's this massive price surge and a massive dump, and that's bot manipulation, right? Bot manipulation. So they've got a methodology that will show just a more healthier price. And when the correction happens, it's not like this massive dump, because you see these big price ups and downs. You'll see that it just has a healthy correction and then a continuation. So tokenomics and sniping methodology, and also front running. You can change your gas, you can front run, and you can do all these clever things when it comes to these. They're going to put in deterrence in play. So CrossSwap is a DEX, is a cross-chain DEX, but it's revolutionary because of those 5 unique problems that it solved. And you might not be seeing that because you might just think it's just another PancakeSwap, or it's just another Rubik, or it's just another AnySwap. No, it's got a real niche. And also keeping in mind that they've got 8 to 9 major launch pads, as in the Bluezilla ecosystem, and many of which they're projects, rather than launching on PancakeSwap, which is causing problems, they're going to launch on CrossSwap. Rather than going into Uniswap, they'll launch on CrossSwap, and they'll probably integrate into everything else like AstroSwap, swaps, and a few other things, because it's all part of the same ecosystem. But the main thing to keep in mind is, whilst this price correction is occurring, what are we anticipating? What are we waiting for? What am I waiting for? Well, it's really clear and really simple to me. I'm just scrolling down to the roadmap. It's just this one major thing here. Version 1 of the DEX. Yeah, this is Q 2021 Q4. That's when it's due. It's due. Is it guaranteed it will happen in Q4? Well, the Bluezilla team are really good. The whole VC firm is really good at sticking to deadlines. Now, they haven't given a hard date yet, right? But I do know this. When Wagyu got its hard date, like this is exactly when it's launching, and they hit those milestones, bang, Wagyu went from like 20 cents to $3 in the space of like 2 to 4 weeks, right? That's over 10x, right? AstroSwap is coming. You can kind of feel that. Swaps is now live, and they're going to be announcing their single staking liquidity protocol, which I think the rewards are going to be juicy. I don't know what they are, but they're partnered with Wagyu, so they understand tokenomics really, really well. So CrossSwap has all these tokenomics, all these rewards and staking. If you just read what they're going to be doing, buy and burns, liquidity staking, they're going to incentivize people for holding. fee sharing. There's gonna be a lot of fees because a lot of projects are gonna use this DEX because it's gonna solve many problems. Like rather than going straight to PancakeSwap, CrossSwap will be a better alternative for many projects and for participants, for investors. So 50% of those fees are gonna go to stakers. So that's gonna be great for the CrossSwap token. Community pro. So there's DAO, which is for governance and trading fee discounts. People that are using CrossSwap a lot to trade. If you staked your tokens, you're going to get amazing discounts that are going to be in play. So I just wanted to kind of remind you that the show hasn't started yet. The show hasn't started yet. This is like, I don't even know what the market cap is. Something like 10 million or 7 million or something really, really low. It's ridiculously low. So let's just look at the price action. I've done this chart the other day because, again, I was just listening to my community, private community, and it can be concerning because like, the price is going down. Should I get out? Like the party hasn't even started yet. It's like we're in Cross Wallet, right? Party hasn't even started, but we saw this amazing 40x, 30x price surge. But with like, just to keep it simple, because this is not like a textbook chart pattern. The reason though, it's moved up, bang, wave one, nice and clean, and it's moving down, wave two, right? So if you've taken my Fibonacci and Elliott Wave masterclass and my courses, you know that these markets move in cycles and trends. So it's now hitting this down here. If we just look at this, again, we do probabilities, never certainties. Now that's important to note. But down here, this is a typical wave two correction. Wave twos are quite deep, as in 50 to 78.6% correction of the previous swing up, which some people go, hey, that's not healthy. I go for wave twos, it's normal because people don't know if the market has really taken off and there's profit taking, etc. But the next corrections don't tend to be as aggressive in terms of wave fours and so on and so forth. So what I'm anticipating, this blue line and the green line, I'm just same business plan, right? Is to say the next major price target is this here, which is 1.618, which is that $1.40 to $2 thereabouts. That's the typical wave three target. Is that going to happen? Highly probable, and I think it's going to line up with the DEX. I don't know exactly when they're going to launch their DEX version 1 on the Binance Smart Chain, but once they do, and the optimism comes back into the market, I think this is just going to explode, really, really well, really, really healthy. So am I concerned? I go, no, I'm just staking. Staking, a lot of you, when I first brought this out, was around down here. So a lot of you should have got risk-free around up here, 2, 3, 4, 5x, thereabouts. It did do this spike up. I think it did this spike up, right? If we look at a candlestick, it did this spike up over here. But we ignore this price. This is just noise. This is like overhype. And then that's why we use closing data. And then there's just a healthy correction. You can see these overlapping waves. That's just a corrective infrastructure, a chart pattern. But now what we're anticipating next doesn't mean it's going to happen. But now's the time, when everyone's panicking, is like, what's happening? Price is going down. Is the DEX going to launch on time? Is it going to be here? Is it going to be there? Do you want to be on the train before the DEX is announced? Because let's just say, I don't know this information, so I'm just speculating here. But let's just say the DEX was due to launch in 7 days, or they're going to announce it in 7 days. Only the internal team know, or maybe a handful of people know. But as soon as they make it public, the DEX is going live on this date. Now, all of a sudden, the hype just really begins. And then when it gets closer to that date, or sometimes it's even, we are going to announce the day of CrossSwap on this date. So the announcement date of the date, yeah? And that can also create massive surge in buying behavior because people want to get prepared because they know something big is coming. But what we can do now, it's not guaranteed, it's only probabilities and never certainties, is what we can do now is go, well, we know the DEX is due for quarter 4. We are now literally moving into December, so there's around 4 weeks left of quarter 4. So an announcement we should anticipate in 1, 2, 3 weeks' time, probably before Christmas. So I would anticipate the first 2 weeks of December. And then, then the train was probably going to leave the station. And we don't get these opportunities where these powerhouse companies that have huge upside potential. There's $1 billion valuation written all over it if it executes. Have they got a track record of executing? Well, Wagyu Swap's a great example for us. Swaps is now live as the minimal viable product version 1, and they're going to be increasing more liquidity and doing other things. So we got, and they've got loads of launchpads, loads of projects that have launched. So you can understand that they understand the problem. And business is all about solving problems. It's just, what's the next problem? What's the next problem? And if we think we can do it better, we do it better. So that's how I think the Bluezilla are now thinking about it. So with CrossSwap, just an update, nothing in detail. It's just look, normal price movement, bump, bump. But I'm anticipating by the end of the bull run, if I did this before, but I'm going to do this deliberately. I'm anticipating, again, it's not going to likely move up in a straight line. But when you see, I'm going to go, here it is. I'm anticipating like a $25 to $35 CrossSwap price by the end of the bull run. So why I'm doing it like this is what we've drawn so far. This is where the price is, like down here. You can't even see it, right? It's so small. But if the price really takes off over time, over the next few weeks and months, and it does even hit $25, $25 to $30, which is here, we're going to laugh at the time when people were, again, this is not guaranteed. We know that, right? So that's why you want to get risk-free at 5x or 3x or 10x, whatever your protocol is or your business plan is. So now then you can hold for these life-changing moves, life-changing, because the current price is 30 cents. So $30 is 100x. Up here is 100x from today's price. From today's price is 100x. Is it guaranteed? No. But then you got to take into account the rewards. The staking rewards. If you've been staking for the last month, you might have been almost risk-free just from your staking rewards because you're getting around 20% extra tokens a month. Does that make sense? 20% extra tokens per month, right? And if you got in at 15 cents, 20 cents, and you sold some tokens on this journey, you're probably at least 50% risk-free, as in, if you put in 10,000, you got 5,000 back just for free. And you can exit that, and then you go, right now I've only got 50% risk, but the upside should counteract the risk. Now, we know Bitcoin's going through a bit of a correction, and I'm harping on about this because I just listen to people, and a lot of the time it's just mindset. It's pure mindset, right? 89% of this game is mindset, and people just listen to anything and repeat it and regurgitate it. And I go, people, thoughts create your reality and your feelings, and it becomes harder to hold when, the technicals line up. If they weren't the Bluezilla ecosystem and it's just CrossSwap and they had no track record and nothing like that, I go, then it's a less likely probable outcome that they're going to deliver. But we know they're working with Bluezilla, incubated. They need this solution, right, to make it easier, safer for all projects, especially with the 8 launchpad that they have. BSC pad, ETH pad, Tron pad, ADA pad, Valus pad, Post pad. We got Game Zone, we got NFT launch now, and we've got the Meta V pad coming soon. So that's 9 pads. And if they are on average doing 10 projects per month, that's 19 new projects launching onto a DEX, right? Doesn't mean they're all guaranteed to launch on the CrossSwap DEX, but let's just say even half of them do. That's 50 new projects. That's eyeballs, that's customers. That's the hardest thing with business, is getting customers. It's one of the hardest bits. So hopefully that's making sense. Hopefully that was useful to you with CrossSwap. No guarantees here, but the 2 things I wanted to cover today was watch out for KoiStarter. I think that one is the one to watch out for as a launch pad because it's a blockchain as a service, incubating from the ground up. And then they're going to get some powerhouse projects, and they got V2 Labs, they got grants and everything else. So I think they're going to do some really, really cool stuff. And the speed of innovation with KoiStarter and Creator is going to be fast because it's no code and low code DApp. So ideas can get formulated faster and cheaper. So that's going to be a very, very cool thing to see how that evolves. All right, so we are going to finish on. What are we going to finish on? We're going to finish on what move? What move? Did you guess what move? Did you guess it? Right? I know most of you would have guessed head spins. You get 2 out of 10 for head spins because I'm on my head over here. The answer, I'm going to show you, I'm going to tell you the technical answer is, I'm going to show you first. I'm going to turn off the music. Let's just see. What's this move? Did you get? Let's see. It's a corkscrew. It's a corkscrew. Yes. So what this move is, I'm going to play it one more time. There's a hollow back, boom, and there's corkscrew. Now the difference between a corkscrew and a head spin is with a corkscrew, what you're doing is it looks like you're going to do a head spin, but as soon as you do your first tap, you're literally pulling your legs together, and the moment of inertia changes. So where you would be spinning slowly, you literally spin like a mini little corkscrew. So there you have it. That was the corkscrew. It's really cool to do when you're doing it in a set because it's like a really fast move. You're going bum, bum, bum on your head, corkscrew, and ideally finish on a freeze. So there you have it. So if you like today's video, we covered a lot today. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. There's 2 things that I want you to take action on today. One is take my free Elliott Wave and Fibonacci masterclass. Markets are crazy when it comes to psychology. In terms of your psychology, fear, greed, pessimism, optimism, and there's a lot of FUD going around, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Yeah, I see it all the time. I hear it in the comments. I hear it in the comments. I hear it in your comments. I hear it in my private community comments. I just hear it all the time. So having some skills when it comes to technical analysis, knowing even just that wave two, that the most common ratio, Fibonacci ratio for wave twos is 50 to 78.6% retracement. And we're looking for those, and we want to buy at the 62 to 78.6% retracements. They're high probability setups. It's the first pullback of the first big move to the upside. It's one of the safest times to buy, according to W.D. Gann, one of the forefathers of technical analysis. So take my free Elliott Wave and Fibonacci masterclass. I built it for you. I've tried to simplify a lot of this stuff because it becomes quite complicated, and it's really to put your mind at rest when you're looking at the markets. Second is I've created an IDO masterclass also, which is in the link below. Now, I focus on the Bluezilla ecosystem especially because of Meta VPAD's coming up on the 10th of December. 10th of December is coming up. So you want to get whether it's your Valis pad, whether it's your NFT launch, whether it's your KCC pad, it's pretty much the same system, but I cover some of the core basics in the IDO masterclass. That's there for you, even if you just watch it because you want to get up to speed with what's the big deal with these launch pads. I covered KoiStarter today because it's the launch pad, but I think it's going to be one of the better ones in terms of the platform, the user experience, the user interface. No glitches, just smooth, really smooth. And they seem to be now loading up the projects. They've got today's one, which is DoragonLand. I'm very excited to see how that performs. If it does 100x, because the allocations were good with DoragonLand. Like the top tier, the KQ level, 50,000 tokens, gave you like $1,100 allocation. $1,100 allocation. I'm like, geez, if that does 100x, you can do the math, right? Yeah, you can do the math. 100x with 1,000 is $100,000. If it does more than that, man, that is healthy. And the token generation event is releasing 33%, which is higher than what we're used to. So that can be a pro and a con. So we'll see how that plays out. So like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. I appreciate you. I love the fact that you're studying, you're working, and you're kind of staying consistent. But do take my Fibonacci Elliott Wave masterclass at least. Just watch it. Just kind of get the feel and the vibe for these wave twos, especially. Wave twos is one of my favorite waves because when everyone is panicking, you can be ready to pounce. And you'll see it time and time again. If you go back and watch my Solana video, I did a video on Solana, I think it was a few months back, and it was doing this textbook, ABC, of a wave two. And it was a deep correction for Solana. And it was around $17. And I was saying, boom, this is optimal buying conditions from a technical standpoint, from a psychology standpoint. And over the next few weeks, it went from $17 to over $200. But this applies to smaller caps and larger caps. So it's really important for you to understand the flow of the markets. So there you have it. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, keep taking action. And I'm going to read you a quote. We got to read a quote, right? I was just remembering, I've been reading quotes from my book. I got one for you. This is one of my favorites when I was 24. When I was 24 years old, I used to pin these on my wall. This is my favorite, one of my favorites. To experience the ocean, you must first build the courage to leave shore. To experience the ocean, you must first build the courage to leave shore. The very fact that you're in crypto, you've bought crypto, you've staked crypto, you've used decentralized exchanges, you've done an IDO, you're thinking about doing an IDO, you are learning about technical analysis and everything else, and you're taking these steps, you've already left shore. And I'm hoping with these high probability setups, because we can only do probabilities and never certainties, you get to experience the ocean. And the ocean is the banquet of life. And when you can increase your financial health to a certain point where money no longer is an issue, as in a challenge, because it's one of the biggest stresses of people's lives, then you can experience the banquet of life. What has life got to offer for you? What can you do? What good can you do in the world? What can you experience and what do you want to experience? So to experience the ocean, you must first build the courage to leave shore. Boom, I'll leave you with that and I'll see you soon.